Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Carolina Saltwater Living, y'all. I've been looking forward to this little project since we moved down here going on a year ago, y'all. Be a year in October. Be here before you know it. I'm gonna build me a fish cleaning station. A nice 8-foot long table at just the right height so I don't have to bend over, hurt my back, or strain my neck while I'm working on stuff. I ran to town this morning, got me 3 treated 8-foot 2x4s and a box of Torx screws 2 inches long. I already got some Torx screws here left over from doing the fence. They're a little bit longer, and I'll use those building this frame. These cutoffs are from the decking boards that we used to build the fence. Don't ever throw away good building material unless you just got a ton of money that you want to throw away. If you don't throw it away, send it our way. We could use it. No eyeball here where I'm wanting to put it. Got me a torpedo level so that I can level up the corner over here. I'm securing this to the fence itself, and then we'll build the frame off of that. But let me get these screws ran in where they need to be. I can hang on to stuff, y'all. If you can't tell, it's 105 real feel, and I sweat anything above 70, and I start sweating these days. But I want to get this thing done. I don't care if it's hot. I took the day off of work because we had a thunder boomer come through last night, y'all. Dropped a couple inches of rain. Even had a tornado on the beach. Lisa showed me a picture of it. That was wild, seeing that tornado ripping across the beach out there. Fortunately, nothing was damaged. Might have relocated a few fish. Getting my screws started so I can lean into this 2x4 and get it secured right here. I need about 4 more hands, but I'm getting it done. I've always found a way to get things done working by myself. Alright, 2x4 is in place. Rip off a tag here and move on to putting this side in here. I'm having to use my mouth to pull this tape measure out. I'm shooting for 19 inches, round about the total depth. And y'all forgive me on the poor quality of the voiceover. I don't have any high-tech stuff to take out distortion, so gonna be a little bit of distortion here, but I just figured today it was easier for me to work and come back and talk to you and tell you what I'm doing. I end up having to come back here in a minute and put me a shim in place because this thing wasn't quite square. Nothing is I ever built. Get me a couple of screws started so I can put my last 2x4 in place. Alright, we'll see here. I tried to skip a step. Yep, there we go. Didn't have nothing to hold on to back there, so I put me a little brace in place back there. That way I can hold that 8-foot 2x4 up without that thing falling on me again. Y'all, this is a great little project. I was wanting to build me one of those nice little fish huts with a roof on it, the whole 9 yards, but I thought, why spend $200 or $300 or $400 on materials and time to build that when all I need, y'all, is an 8-foot shelf, little table that I can put my 4-foot sanitary grade cutting board up on top of. That it's like a poly cutting board that I used to use to break down pork on and chickens, and now I'm going to use it for fish. I'll still use it for other things as well, but I can bring it out here and set it right on top of this thing, clean it up, Clorox it good when I'm done, and be ready to go for the next time. I'm pulling that out now and putting this shim in place. You get this thing back close to square, and y'all, it works. Once I get done, you're not going to see that shim anyhow. It's just a placeholder to get me back to square, or close to it. Alright, there we go. In place, nice and sturdy. break the top off, moving on. Got me a couple of braces here on a rundown because there's no real support for this frame suit. I'm going to throw me a brace in here, I'm going to throw me a brace in the middle, and on the far side we're already braced good because we're screwed into the side of that fence back there. And if you're wondering why I didn't run the brace all the way to the very front where the edge of the table is, it's because I want plenty of room up under this thing if I need to store anything underneath it later on, without things being in the way, me knocking my head trying to get under there working. So this will be sufficient, just coming halfway up the side here. Be plenty stout for this little old table that's never going to have a ton of weight on it to start with. Although I got a feeling if I really wanted to, I could put my weight on it, about 220 pounds, and it would hold up. When I get done, you'll see what I mean. If I could hold on to things, I would get things done a little quicker. But y'all, this is not what I do for a living. I'm not a carpenter, but I like building things when I have the opportunity. I like seeing things made, looking good and sturdy. Gonna run me a brace here in the center, something to tie into for another, I guess you'd call it a knee brace, going back to that flat 2x4 there that's just a support to the fence. Have me a little bit more support. Right here is that little knee brace I'm putting in. Went ahead and cut it with a circular saw at an angle, knocked off a tip there. It's going to fit right down in here and provide support for this table. And once again, I'm going right to the center of the table. That way I've got extra room if I need to squat down there and get up under this thing for any reason. I'm not going to be knocking my head on that middle support. Now that's a hard move for me right there, y'all. All the knee issues I've got, surgeries over the years. Yup, but that's stout enough. I can mash down on that thing pretty good. That's going to work for me. Here's all these cutoffs, these decking boards. Y'all, this is just great to have these materials left over. And I can't really factor the cost of these in on this build because these have already been, this was waste from the last build. But if you had to go buy them, no big deal, just a couple of 8-footers and you've got all the material you need here for doing this. I picked up those $10, y'all, for 175 of these little 2-inch screws. These are the torque head screws with an enamel coating on them. Hopefully it'll keep them from rusting for a long time. But these work great for putting on these little decking boards for this table. I used actually a little bit longer ones for the frame, and when we built the fence I used a little bit longer ones, but this is perfect for what I'm doing here. Speed this thing up. I realize this is probably a boring video for a lot of people, but this is a simple way to make a cleaning station for fish, y'all, or for just breaking down anything you need to do meat wise on your homestead. You can put it up here on a good nice big cutting board and go to town, especially in cold weather, cleaning pigs like we used to do. I would have much rather have had a permanent shelf like this to work off of than having to set up the butcher table that we did. It was just so heavy. Worked great, but there's a lot of work setting that thing up. To have something permanent like this, you can wash off with the water hose and a scrub brush and Clorox, and ready for the next time, y'all. This is the way to do it for sure. Just cleaning up the edge Y'all, this table is looking good to me.
Pretty sturdy, I'd say. All of this was material left over from building this fence, cutoffs. And I knew I'd have a need for it at some point. I told Lisa I wanted to make a fish cleaning station. In the shade, this is normally a shady spot of the house, and I just used the existing 4x6 posts, these decking boards, three 2x4s that I bought today in town to make a simple frame, sturdy enough that I can put my 4-foot cutting board up here, put a cooler on this side to put fish fillets into as I'm working, and then drag the water hose over here and just wash everything down when I'm done. I'll put some Thompson's water seal on here we've got to do the fence. It's just been raining for like 3 weeks, so as soon as it stops, we'll get everything treated. But I'm tickled with this. Less than $50, y'all. Even if you had to go buy a couple of 8-foot decking boards, it works out great. And I don't have to spend a bunch of money building a little fish hut, fish shack to fillet fish. I mean, those are cool, but I've already got this space, and I've been wondering this whole time what I'm going to do with it. So on this side of it, we're going to add a compost bin. So everything that's not being consumed after filleting fish this fall will go straight into the compost bin, because we have some plans for a backyard garden. Guys, thanks for stopping in at Carolina Saltwater Living. It's about 105 real feel. It's nasty out here. I'm done for the day. Y'all have a good day and a great week, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise too high. We'll see you on the next one, and that's going to hopefully be on the boat. Kyla's coming in for a visit, and we're going fishing. Guys, y'all have a good one.